It's the Score North Twin Show.
All right, Score North Extra Innings. Declan Goff here, jumping on with you on a Sunday evening. Twins wrapping up their three-game series with the Houston Astros. They take that series, another big series win for the Twins. Nice performance from Simeon Woods-Richardson, who continues to give the team opportunities to win ball games. Another big day for Trevor Larnach at the plate, and the Twins do take care of business against the Astros. They get another big series win. They even move up a game in the standings against the Cleveland Guardians, who shockingly finally lost a baseball game to the Washington Nationals. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is Score North Extra Innings. My name is Declan Goff. You can expect extra inning content from the majority of home games, plus select road games from the home office here too sometimes. So if you've just stumbled upon this, appreciate it. Thank you. And if you've been watching this and haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. It helps us spread the word about the Score North Twin Show. So, yes, the Twins get a series win against Houston, but the bigger talker here is Royce Lewis's impending return to the Twins. So, Royce has been in St. Paul with the Saints for the last week. He has DH'd. He has played some third base. They had a regulated plan for Royce that I was told, which was to start at least 4 games with the St. Paul Saints, both obviously at DH and third. They obviously kept him down there still. They wanted to give him some off days too, built into this week when the Saints were still in Rochester to kind of see how he feels, how his body reacts. And so far, everything points to Royce Lewis most likely joining the Twins on Tuesday when they play the New York Yankees. So it's actually the Minnesota Twins coming to Royce Lewis because Royce is just in Rochester, New York. So he'll probably likely be heading up with the big club via bus route, via plane ride. I don't know. But Royce Lewis is expected to join the Twins when they begin the 3-game series in the Bronx against the Yankees. I know some Twins fans are probably a little nervous about that, but the guy's got a flair. Royce is for dramatic home runs. Maybe he is the missing ingredient the Twins have needed all along just to win damn games against the Yankees. So that is obviously the news there. And I was also told Royce Lewis today was the best he had looked in the field at the plate. I know you're probably going to look at maybe some of the rehab assignment and some of the small minor league numbers. Just a couple hits there for Royce, but the guy hadn't played baseball in a very long time. So he was going to get some at-bats. Don't look into the fact, that he just had a few hits during the 7 games here. This was about him getting comfortable, him getting ready, him getting his body back into playing baseball every day. If it was up to Royce, he would have been playing a month ago. Quad injuries are very, very tricky, so they had to be very, very careful and very patient here. That patience pays off, and Royce Lewis is most likely going to join the Twins when, again, they play the New York Yankees. And looks like we now have an answer to who goes down once Royce Lewis is activated. From the local beat reporters down in Houston who were covering the game, looked like Edouard Julien will be the odd man out here for the Twins. Multiple reporters reporting that Edouard Julien had a long conversation with Rocco Baldelli, had some conversations with players, and signs point to Edouard Julien end up being the odd man out. So there was a lot of options here, and we'll get into some Julien things that I'm looking forward to, honestly, when he does go down to St. Paul, because I don't look at this demotion as the end of Edouard Julien's tenure as a Major League Baseball player. In fact, I think it's going to be incredibly beneficial. But Edouard Julien has been struggling lately, hasn't been able to hit breaking balls still. Last year, crushed fastballs, and to be honest, never went through a stretch like this in his career. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but if you look at his minor league numbers, if you look at his college numbers, he has dominated everywhere he has gone, and dominated more, maybe it's being a little bit hyperbolic, but has been incredibly consistent. He has never gone through a slump like this in his big league career. That's what's going to happen when a good rookie comes up and the other teams have the book on you. He has yet to really make big-time adjustments on off-speed and breaking ball pitches, especially on the outer half of the zone, and that's why you're seeing a lot of taken strike 3 calls for him. I know those frustrate Twins fans. It's not because his eye is picky necessarily. It's because he knows he has to be a better hitter at trying to hit those breaking balls, and he doesn't have an answer for it. So no better place, in my opinion, to go down than go to St. Paul, work on that swing, work on how to hit breaking balls. I envision Edouard Julien coming back up here because he's still going to be a very good hitter. He has some few things to work on. His defense has taken a drastic step forward. So this is a chance for him to get that swing right. how to approach off-speed breaking ball pitches. He crushes fastballs. Everyone knows that. But if he's going to be a complete big league hitter consistently at the major league level, he needs to figure out that last part of his game, because it probably is the missing piece from him being just a guy that can take some walks and have some pop and play good defense to being a legitimate, maybe all-star caliber player for the Twins at second base. So Edouard Julien will be most likely going down. The Twins are off on Monday, so are the St. Paul Saints. So both those teams have built-in off days tomorrow. So the Twins might not formally announce this until tomorrow. They might even wait till Tuesday morning to announce it. I don't know necessarily when they'll announce that move for him, but Edouard Julien will be going down to St. Paul, working on some things. Now the Twins have basically gone through two guys who had great rookie seasons that have been demoted by June 2nd, June 3rd of the 2024 season. Matt Wallner got off to a very rough start in the first couple weeks, and he had to go down to St. Paul. Now, Wallner's still struggling a little bit, striking out a lot, has a lot of raw power, but I actually believe in, and I think there's still a good player, Matt Wallner. I think there's even a better player in Edouard Julien, a more rounded player, a player that can definitely still help you contribute to 2024 and beyond. And again, not to say Matt Wallner can't be that guy, but I have a lot more faith in Edouard Julien's ability to be a big league hitter than I do with Matt Wallner. And there was other candidates too here, right? I mean, Kyle Farmer has very much struggled. He's had a really rough go of it. He was even surprised the Twins brought him back in arbitration. He could have been a guy here. Manuel Margot, I know there was fans calling for him, and we even speculated on this show with Trevor Plouffe last Tuesday. Is it Margot? I think it could be. But Margot absolutely destroys left-handed pitching, and especially left-handed starters, and he had a really good week here. I mean, this is what happens. They were going to have to make a difficult decision. I know a lot of fans and a lot of people that cover baseball know that sometimes this ends up working out where an injury happens and it's just an easy roster decision. That didn't happen here. So someone had to bite the bullet. Someone had to pay the price essentially to go down to make room for Royce Lewis, who is obviously your superstar player here, and it's Edouard Julien. Trevor Larnach and Alex Kirilloff's name came up. I was if Kirilloff didn't turn his game around the last few weeks, I think that also could have made some sense. Trevor Larnach has also cooled down a little bit, but he's also now their new leadoff hitter, had a couple home runs and some really impressive at-bats too against Houston. So, I would have been shocked if it was Trevor Larnach going down, but Julien goes down, which also means Willie Castro, Kyle Farmer, who we just talked about, could be guys that are probably going to see a lot of time at second base in the absence of Julien. Now, I don't love that. Defensively, I don't like it, and also offensively, you're probably going to look at Kyle Farmer batting ninth and maybe playing a little bit more. But I will say, sometimes with guys like Farmer and guys even with the right-handed bats on this team, they don't get a ton of playing time, as I outlined in a lot of the platoon episodes last week. This could be a chance where you start getting regular at-bats for Kyle Farmer. Maybe something changes. Maybe something does change there with him. I wouldn't be counting on it, but it could be something that could actually be beneficial for Kyle Farmer going forward. And then Willie Castro, who hasn't played a ton of second since coming over to the Twins. He did play a lot of second with the Detroit Tigers. Was not great there defensively. I think a -6 defensive run saved according to Fangraphs during his Tigers tenure. And even though he has been a Swiss Army knife utility defensive player for the Twins, and actually has had a pretty good bat for the last month, I don't love him playing second base every day. So that's the Twins' options here. And, Brooks Lee should be reporting also to St. Paul, I think, within the week or two. He has kind of progressed in his minor league from the Florida Complex League and whatnot, so he's probably knocking on the door of also being there, which then does create an interesting conundrum, right? Because if Edouard Julien's down there, Brooks Lee's position also could be second base. The Twins now have, again, a surplus of these middle infielders that they have to figure out where they want to put them. That's why they obviously traded Spencer Steer, which was a trade that blew up in the Twins' face because they had Carlos Correa playing short for them for the foreseeable future. Royce Lewis is a good third baseman. Brooks Lee can play the left side, but is his path also playing second? These are good problems for the Twins to have. But Brooks Lee could be an option there to maybe come up here, and he's been swinging a really, really good bat. But after a week of trying to figure out who is going to be the odd man out when Royce Lewis inevitably returns, it appears it's going to be Edouard Julien going down to St. Paul. So lot of interesting moving parts here for the Twins. I know I outlined last week with Mackie and Judd, and with I think it was with Trevor Plouffe too on the Tuesday episode, that hey, if you were going to have IL stints to guys like Correa, Royce Lewis is going to miss a month, Buxton's going to miss a month, Pablo Lopez, who finally turned around and had a really nice start on Friday, is also going to go through some struggles. You're not going to be without you're going to be without, your closer for the first month of the season. Justin Topa's not going to throw an inning for you. And you're also going to have guys like Julien and Warner who will be sent down by June 2nd. And again, predict where the Twins are going to be without knowing their record. I think we'd all say that's probably a pretty disastrous team and things aren't going well. But they're in a very good division. They're multiple games over 500. I know it's been a streaky nature with the team that only won 6 of their first 18, then won 17 of 20, then won a 7-game losing streak. It's been a roller coaster ride. But to be where they're at, honestly, on June 2nd, without Royce Lewis for the majority of this, has been beyond impressive. So we'll have a State of the Twins episode on Monday. We'll have some vibe checks. We'll have things that we like with Mackie, Judd, and myself. Trevor Plouffe, of course, will join us on Tuesday. You'll have some bonus extra innings content probably sprinkled throughout the week. There have 3 games in New York and then 3 games against the Pittsburgh Pirates next weekend as well. So the Twins will not be home, I believe, until June 10th. So they're going to still be on this road trip for a little bit. And if maybe you were a Timberwolves fan who had the season come to an end and you're looking for some Minnesota sports content, welcome. This is the Score North Twin Show. We welcome you if you'd love to be a part of this. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Also on the Apple side of things, people always ask, how do we kind of help support these podcasts and whatnot? 5-star ratings go a very long way with discovery and just the overall vibe of the show. So thank you so much for everyone that has done that. If you haven't done it, please do so. But you can hit that like button, hit the subscribe button too. We pushed over 3,000 subs, which is just badass to me. We launched this channel, in February, March, and here we are for a baseball team that has had a lot of ups and downs in a few months, but you guys have made this channel happen. So thank you so much. This is Score North Extra Innings. My name is Declan Goff. Full Twin Show tomorrow. Mackie, Judd, and myself. Be talking at you then.